So I'm going to talk a little bit about going from profile, and we already know how to draw a portrait. So real quick, I'm just going to draw up a very, very quick portrait. You don't have to. But I'm going to think about how we drew that portrait. So I kind of started with a kind of a generic circle, right? Kind of thought about that a little bit. Then I went through and I kind of sliced it up. You guys remember all this stuff, right? Went 1, 2, 3. Drew on the jaw. Okay, all this stuff is pretty easy at this point. Eyes are in the middle of the head. Nose, mouth, right? Ears come up and back down. Ears come up and back down. Hairline, hairline, hairline. And then the neck, we know, kind of comes down. Apple core is in just a little bit. And then shoulders, right? So I was drawing just somebody quickly. That would be a decent enough profile. That would kind of get all the anatomy in the right place, right? Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take this portrait, right? I'm going to literally turn his head so that he's facing profile. Okay, so he's facing sideways. All right? So here we go. I'll use different colors to help you guys out a little bit. All right, so let's do this here. How about this? Let's start off. We're going to start off with a circle. Okay, just like we did for the portrait, we're going to start off with that same circle for our profile. Same idea. Now, if you're ever drawing a face, and maybe you feel way more comfortable drawing a portrait, and you don't feel super comfortable drawing a profile, remember that you can always draw exactly how I have. You can actually draw the face how you want it, and we can just kind of line these things up a little bit, right? So there's the top of the head, here's the bottom of that circle, right? I can kind of line up, here's the bottom of the jaw, right? You get the idea. So these things are all going to line up, because whenever you turn your head, nothing shifts or alters, it just rotates, that's it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I want to think about kind of the front of the face. So I'm going to have him facing this way. I have him facing to the left, okay? So I'm just going to kind of scoop this around like so, kind of scoops with the side of the face here, the side of that circle. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to think about kind of about where I want the ear to be, and it's going to be just a little bit beyond halfway. So not exactly halfway, a little bit beyond halfway. So we'll say the ear is going to be somewhere here-ish. I don't really know where yet, but we'll just draw a line. And I'm just going to scoop this up real quick, and that's going to be the jaw. Right? So if this guy had no nose, no eyeballs, and no mouth, this is kind of his overall head shape. So we got the cranium, where your brains go. We've got the front of the face and kind of this jaw shape as well. Right there. Okay. All right, feeling good? And again, if I need to slow down, just holler. All right, so next, let's start thinking about placement of the nose, the mouth, and the eyeballs, right? So I'm going to zoom in here real quick just for ease of use. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and now we're going to let's plug on the nose real quick. So we know that the nose, at least in the portrait, we know that the nose comes to the bottom of the circle, right? So let's go over here. We know where the bottom of the circle is. So I'm just going to draw a quick little line, kind of right there. I don't know how far out it comes, but I know it's right about there. That's the base of the nose. And again, just like before, this is going to be kind of a template. You'll be able to go through, just like with your portrait, be able to go through and kind of alter this if you're drawing someone specific. Like if you, in your propaganda poster, if you want to put your own portrait or your own profile here, you'd start with this kind of template and then we'll alter it to fit your face. All right. So now all I'm going to do is basically just transform this into a triangle. Okay. Now you know that your nose is not actually a triangle, but again, we're just blocking it in. We're thinking about basic, simple shapes to just block this in. Now I know where the nose comes to because, again, the eyes are in the middle of the head. If this is the whole head, I know that the eyes are going to be right about here because they're still in the middle of the head. Nothing has changed. Okay. Next, whenever you think about a head and it's rotated, right, it's looking profile, your eyes are now kind of in the head, right? So they're not going to be way up front here, right? They're actually in the face itself. So I'm going to do this kind of little triangle V shape, something like that. I'm going to put a little scoop right up front too. That's going to kind of symbolize the eye as if we're looking at the side of it. We're looking at the side of the eye. And again, very, very geometric. Very simplified, but it's just kind of walking you through the steps.
So is that orange part supposed to be his neck?
This is the jaw.
Oh, the jaw.
That's the jaw right there. So see it kind of lines up over here? Yep, that's the jaw. Okay. So yeah, so we've got the green circle, which again you can kind of see the green circle is kind of like the top of your skull, and then it comes down, and then we've got the jaw right there. Okay, so now we're gonna do the lips, right? And your lips are gonna kind of we got the snot tray right about there. And all I'm gonna do is I'm literally gonna make like a letter M. So if you kind of like imagine I rotate this, right? I'm gonna do like a letter M. So 1, 2, 3, just like that. Okay? Now, bless you. We're gonna go through and we'll clean this up in a second, okay? Because obviously your lips don't actually do this. But again, just the idea of kind of this bottom lip, the top lip, they kind of stick out just a little bit from our mouth. It's not flush against this, so it kind of comes out a little bit. And then we'll just put another little lump right there for the chin. And we'll just kind of smooth that all out. Okay? Now, this would be a great head if I decapitated you at the base of your neck. But unfortunately, we're going to draw on a neck as well. So, you might have drawn faces before in the past, where maybe in the past, you know, you're drawing, and you're like, yeah, I'm the best artist ever. And you put your eyeballs, the nose, and then like the mouth, right, and the ears, I guess, and there's hair. And then you draw your neck, and that's the neck right there, and that's, yeah. Okay, so that's not good. That's not good for a couple reasons. One, he's going to die. His neck cannot support the weight of his bulbous head. That and the fact that your neck, and again, you can kind of see it on somebody else, our necks kind of come out, right? They don't actually go straight down. Instead, they go away from our body. They come out. So what I want to do is we're going to kind of take an angle. It doesn't have to be, like, we're not going straight out like that, right? It kind of comes down a little bit, just like that. So you can kind of imagine like your shoulder would be here, front of your chest is kind of there. You get the idea. Okay? So your neck comes down. But then on top of that too, we've got a little bit of skin that kind of connects our jawbone, the mandible right there, to the actual neck itself. So I'm going to do a little bit of a line right here. That little piece doesn't seem very important, but it really does kind of help flesh out that face a little bit. So it kind of comes back and down. Yeah, you can do a little bit underneath right there. A little bit of shading right there. And this would be like, you know, if I had one too many like cheeseburgers, I'd get like my quadruple chin right there. Okay, so good? Cool. So the last little touches that we're going to do, and again, keep in mind this is totally a template. Last little touches we're going to do. We know how big the ear is, right? It comes to the top of the eyebrow, comes to the bottom of the nose, and kind of wraps around in there. That weird little heart shape that we had before. A little bit of detail. Okay. And then a couple final touches here, just very quickly. A couple final touches. So we want to think about kind of the eye actually kind of sinks in just a little bit right there. And then we get kind of our forehead, which kind of comes up and around. I could put the hairline on here if I was so desired. Something like that. For a quick hairline. Right? Now, we're not going to talk that much about the details of the eyes. We know there's some nostrils right here. And I can kind of smooth out this nose just a little bit, cut off that tip. Right? And all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put a little line kind of downward facing right from that top lip. That's going to give us our mouth. Now, again, you know as well as I do, there's a lot more detail, particularly in the eyes and in those lips. And we'll get back to those at another time. But for right now, just to kind of introduce a little bit, this is kind of the profile, at least the introduction to drawing the face in profile. Cool? Yeah. If he's facing the other way, it's the exact same, just obviously rotated. So we'll do another video and here in a little bit, and we'll talk about the eyes and the mouth. But for right now, that's kind of a generic overview. Cool? Awesome. All right, guys.